Hi everyone, welcome to Design TV by Sandow. I'm Avi Rajagopal, editor-in-chief of Metropolis, and I'm so thrilled to have with me today Mary Beth Shaw, who's the chief creative officer for Wolf Garden, to talk about Wolf Garden's long and ongoing journey around responsible manufacturing, healthy materials, as well as making a positive impact on people and planet. Mary Beth Shaw, thank you so much for joining me today. So, Mary Beth, let's get some background here first. Wolf Garden has had a long commitment to responsible manufacturing. Can you give us a little bit of history and background there?
Well, Wolf Gordon was founded in 1967. And actually, from the beginning, we have had a whole series of very natural products that are even biodegradable. We have grass cloth wall coverings and cork wall coverings and upholstery, which are also super high performing. We've always had those in our line and been a resource for our interior design specifiers to come to us when they wanted something natural. Beginning in 2008, we introduced a collection called Organics, which was actually a wall covering that was made of polylactic acid, um, and it's a very natural product. It's corn, it's biodegradable corn and soy, and it also has rapidly renewable grass in it called quinaf. This was the first time that an American commercial wall covering company had ever taken a step in this direction. So it was a fairly bold move. And of course, being biodegradable, being able to, throw it on a field or, not worry about any negative impacts, that was a real advantage. Since then, during the pandemic, actually, we also were first to market with a different product, a real type 2 wall covering, bleach cleanable, and PVC free called Claire. And this was an interesting time to introduce a product like Claire. We were trying to reach a lot of people with this good news. And I have to say that, in the aftermath of the pandemic, we've been able to touch more and more people with the messaging on Claire. And also our flexible wall protection, Rampart Resolve, which is PVC free, ideal for healthier hospital type projects and all kinds of commercial interiors that are trying to avoid red list materials. So we continue to this day trying to make inroads. We are currently beginning a new initiative that I'm very excited to announce, and that is that Wolf Gordon is committed to carbon neutrality. We're working with an international team of consultants on this. We've gone through an audit of all of our employees' carbon footprint, carbon expenditure during their work hours, and we're currently working with our partner mills to gather all the data necessary to see, the amount of energy that is expended in the manufacture of our products. The current commitment is consistent with the United Nations commitment of 2050. That seems like a long way off, perhaps, but the reality is that in order to become carbon net zero, we need to do that in conjunction with all of our partner mills and suppliers. We all need to move forward together. So, part of this initiative also involves getting those partners on board. And fortunately, through organizations like the WA, the Wall Coverings Association, we're able to have those conversations and get people excited about joining the effort.
That's so incredible. You just gave us like a 5 decade overview. I just love that. You know, and if we were to count your goals to 2050, even longer than that. And I think it just speaks to this journey of like constant improvement, constant commitment, holding yourself to higher and higher standards over time. And that's so incredible. I want to pick up on a few different threads that you laid out there. First of all, of course, you've been first to market with all these amazing new chemistries, new compositions, real innovations in your category. But at the same time, maintaining performance has been so important. Can you talk a little bit about that? This challenge that we have for responsible manufacturing, but also that we always have to maintain that level of, cleanability, withstand to wear and tear, durability, and so on.
Absolutely. Well, commercial interiors are held to very high standards of cleanliness. We are really, we don't put anything out in the market that we can't stand behind and say, this is for high traffic commercial interiors across all vertical markets, from healthcare to workplace to hospitality. Each of those vertical markets, of course, has varying degrees of importance attached to that performance and cleanability. But certainly, if you look at healthcare, bleach cleanability is essential, and we have to make sure that every product we make that's going into healthcare is going to be, bleach cleanable with a number of different disinfectants. Also, stand up to the heavy traffic, the gurneys and the corridors. We also have a lot of products for hospitality. When you go into a hospitality interior, in addition to the walls needing to be high performing, there's also the upholstery, and they want, spill resistant fabrics, but they also, need to be cleanable. And so, both coated upholstery and woven upholstery options are available for hospitality. And workplace and education, again, when we're sending our children off to school and university, we want to make sure that they're going to be in, clean environments, healthy environments, sustainable materials, and cleanliness.
Absolutely. That's the baseline, right? We still need spaces to work for people. We need people to be safe and healthy in those spaces. And we also don't want any, unintended consequences to communities around the world through our manufacturing process. So that's so important. But at the same time, that balance between those two things, between, performance, health, comfort, as well as sustainability is so incredible. And that's why you need this really holistic approach that you've taken at Wolf Garden to responsible manufacturing. Can you tell me a little bit about the transparency and the information that you provide with all of your products? Of course, I would say most specifiers can rely on Wolf Garden being high performance and being sustainable as they are making their specifications. But for those who are currently engaged in reporting, whether it's for internal carbon commitments, ESG goals, health and wellness goals, or sustainability certification like Lead or Well, how are you supporting that need for information?
Yes, documentation is really important, and it's important that it be very easily accessed. So, right on our website, we can download HPDs. EPDs are, we have EPDs for about 70% of our products at this point, and we're not going to stop until we have them for 100% because it has the very important carbon information in that document. We don't want our customers to have to waste their time looking for documentation. So our whole goal is to make it as easy as possible. And if there's ever anything that's missing or any questions to follow up with, a quick text or call to the account executive. If you can't find it on the website, which you should be able to, we're available all the time to respond to their needs.
You mentioned your initiative around carbon emissions and your goals to achieve net zero by 2050. What is your goal or outlook with this effort around reducing carbon emissions? How do you look to support your specifiers and your customers in their goals as you're doing this work?
Well, I think the communication is key, and we need to make sure everybody's specifying Wolf Gordon products or considering them is aware of all the efforts that we're making and the documentation that's available. and the initiatives that we have in the works, that we're very goal oriented, and we're going to continue seeking, those really ultimate goals, not only carbon neutrality, but, a closed loop economy, and, products that really are recyclable, that contain majority recycled content and are recyclable. That's the goal. Ultimately, when we're able to do that and stop depleting resources, I think, that's going to be where we're, really satisfied. We're not satisfied yet. I don't think any company in our industry is satisfied yet.
Maribeth, you took us through some of the incredible product innovations you've made at Wolf Garden through the years, and I just want to pick up that thread as well. You mentioned the organics collection. You mentioned Claire, which is a type 2 wall covering that's PVC free, as well as Rampart Resolve, that's wall protection that's PVC free. Are there any other recent releases, products that you'd like to highlight that kind of showcase the incredible work you've been doing with product innovation at Wolf Garden?
Yes. In fact, we have an amazing upholstery textile called Sorona. It was also introduced during the pandemic, so we continue our communications about it. It's a beautiful weave that is made of 100% recycled content, polyester reprieve. Beyond that, though, there are copper salts and silver salts embedded in the yarns permanently. They are absolutely safe for human health, but they do fight many pathogens. So, for example, they're 92% effective against E. coli, staph, and other pathogens. And because it's a solid woven, it's very versatile in a beautiful color line. So I did want to mention that upholstery textile that is unique to Wolf Gordon. Another product that we introduced in 2023 is Gather Acoustical. This is a series of semi rigid acoustical panels that, depending on the design and configuration, achieve between 0.25 and 0.90 noise reduction coefficients. And the tie to sustainability is twofold. On one hand, it's 100% recycled PET, 65% recycled post consumer polyester, and 35% pre consumer. So it's got a great recycled content story. But then also, it touches upon this expanding idea of what is important for human health in a commercial interior. And certainly, the levels of noise are really affecting our work, our enjoyment of interior spaces. And with Gather, we can mitigate the negative impacts of noise.
Maribeth, if designers or specifiers want to engage a bit more with your sustainability story, of course you mentioned your website. How can they find out more information? Where would they go to look at your sustainability data? Other than your website, are you in are you providing information through any other platforms, or are you reaching designers in any other way?
Coincident with this announcement of Wolf Gordon, heading towards carbon neutrality, we have a full communications plan lined up that will be going out through digital marketing channels, from the website to social media, emails. We'll be getting the word out and really informing our audience of all of what we're doing. So that's definitely in the works.
I love that. These are the kinds of solutions we need today, like Serona and Gather Acoustical, that allow us to achieve really important goals on well-being and comfort, while they also are, really benign and, in fact, maybe even regenerative for the planet. And that's just that's these are the kinds of multidimensional solutions that we need to be putting into our spaces today if we're really serious about making a positive impact. So thank you for that, Mary Beth. That was incredible. If any of you who are joining us today want to find out more about Wolf Garden, want to engage with Wolf Garden on their website or their social media, head on over to wolfgarden.com and at Wolf Garden on most social media platforms. Follow along with the journey, learn about their products, dive in, and of course, reach out to them with any questions you have, because that conversation and collaboration is how we're going to move forward. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Thank you, Mary Beth.